Right.
You do not want that. That is somebody's son,
Mm-hmm.
right? You know that. You're close perhaps to the family. There's a big repercussion when you call the police in a community of color. And so that awakening for me, and I include that, of course, in the book, and it is just, we've got to talk. And so I read book after book of like 6 books this summer, Black feminists. I just finished Buses Are Coming, Charles Person, loved it. The Freedom Writers, what they went through. The sensitivity and awareness we can get from a book, a conversation, can change a life, can change the world. Let's keep talking. Let's keep reading.
Right.
Let's keep going. Yeah. What was your question?
You
get so excited about this. You're so great. You just roll with me, I tell you.
I told you, we can talk about anything on here. These are just coming to me as we're talking.
You're awesome. I'm just really, this is one of my favorite.
Well, I originally had asked if you thought women were afraid to basically come out and talk and do what you're doing, basically.
And then if I can mention white women in the conversation, because this is where I could get really depressed. Mm-hmm. This is where there's more privilege and entitlement. And so what I've grown to understand and be more sensitive to there, because I was very upset when 53%, approximately, I've heard 53% of white women voted for Donald Trump. It was nothing less than heartbreaking. Made me angry, broke my heart. Privilege is blinding. It's blinding. We are not aware. It took me a long time to look back at my first years in corporate America when I worked with Maxine Clark, as I mentioned in the interviewed her for the book. And I thought, I don't remember any person of color in the advertising department and the buying department. I remember the head of HR was a Black man. Mm-hmm. I thought, wow, we weren't hired. That wasn't because of lack of talent. We were hiring what we looked like, what we resonated with us, right? We didn't reach out. So it was in my next job, I became a vice president, and I hired very differently, like my brother hired very. So again, privilege is blinding. We don't realize it because we ourselves have worked so hard too. I mean, I worked 60, 80 hours a week while I got my MBA. It was brutal to finish my undergrad. And you know what I mean? So you think, oh, well, I'm in there working hard. Everybody else can do the same thing. Well, I had a lot of privilege growing up, right? Just based on my skin color. Mm-hmm. So these are things that we're not, necessarily white women not aware of. They got to become more aware. They just have to. We are counting on them to change the way, because women, when I think of what other women are enduring, the violence, the pay inequities and so forth, we've got to, get more women. When I think of women of color, how many 95% of women of color didn't vote for Donald Trump. Why do I say Donald Trump? Donald Trump is the last stand of the patriarchy. It's going down. It's not necessarily, we're not going to see somebody else like him. We are seeing it in Congress, right? All over the place. It's the last stand. Mm-hmm. It's going down, kicking and screaming, as I like to say, the racist patriarchy. It's going down. Because why? Because look at the diversity in Congress today. Just organically, it's going to change. And people are going to love the changes that are coming. Just like the buses are coming, I love the diversity that's coming. I do. I just love it. And that's what gives me hope. That's because awesome. They lead, when women lead, negotiate, legislate, it's a whole different story. Women legislators legislate more. They bring back more money to their districts. Women physicians have better outcomes. Women at the peace accords, peace table, legislate for stronger peace accords. They last 15 years longer and we adhere to them much better. So there's a lot to be said about women. This is an inherent in women. This is how we raise women. So let's change again. Let's go back to that first habit of equality, which is raise the kids equally with one identity, a human identity, right? Based on love, compassion, and connection.
That's awesome. And where can everyone find Call Me a Woman?
How about www.callmeawomanbook.com? I've got to give a shout out to the launch company in Canada that did the site. I think their name is on the site. I'll have to check on that. It's a beautiful site. It's got lots of testimonials and quotes from the book and beautiful pictures, graphics, and where you can get the book. So callmeawomanbook.com and on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. And I just looked today and it's in the top 10 on in my category. So I'm pretty excited about that. All this month's out. Really excited about it.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lauri, for coming on. I loved our combo. I mean, but I love this combo.
Thank you. I loved you. You're wonderful. And I just love talking to younger people and just seeing, thank you so much for still having the enthusiasm. And I just feel excitement about your life because you've been dealt some tough cards as it relates to climate and where the country is. But there's always hope in humanity, and so that gives me like inspiration to keep going as tough as it's been and is. And now for our younger folks, you're hanging in there and you're doing great work. Thank you for all that you do, Rockshana. You're spreading that light out there. I appreciate it so much.
Absolutely. Well, that was a good combo. That was a great combo. Forget good. It was a great combo because even though we don't hit politics on the show, that was a nice right on the line of politics. And at the same time, I agree with a lot that Lauri has in her book and a lot that we talked about. And I'm a fan. Maybe we'll hear some more just right on the line of politics and political things. We shall see. We shall see. I'm your host, Rockshana. Today's guest was Lauri Levin. Be sure to tune in each week for a new episode. And remember, everything and anything goes. The sky is the limit. Music for the Things That Nature podcast is an original track by Jared Sacramento called Dosage.